Hey, what is that, a Moto Fugazi? Nope, that's a Honda CX500, the Honda Civic of motorcycles. The CX500 really didn't make that big of a splash during its 5-year run from 78 until 83. However, they did make a ton of them. So this particular CX500 is my 79 CX500 Custom that I bought stock back in '03. What I was looking for then was just a simple, reliable bike to get me to and from work and college. In all honesty, the whole time I've owned it, it's been a pretty good bike. It's been reliable, cheap to maintain, easy to work on. What more could you ask from a Honda? As you can see, I've made some modifications to it throughout its life, and I will admit that, you know what, in some ways my inexperience and my thriftiness led to some decision making where I made it kind of cool, but didn't really do the work and effort into making it right. And that's what I'm planning on doing now in these videos. A little more recently, I've started to notice that the exhaust is rusting from the inside out. The front brake master also appears to be leaking, and it looks terrible. Alright, so let's get right into it. The plan is to do the bike right this time around. So the first thing to come off is the exhaust. The trumpets come off fairly easily, 3 bolts, and they slide right out. I actually noticed that the bolts were either seized or really loose, which was interesting. I'm not sure if that's a vibration causing that or what, but it doesn't really matter. They're not coming back on anyway. So what you're looking at here is the H-box portion of the exhaust. It's that rusty square in the center that I'm working on. What that does is exchange exhaust coming from the left side of the cylinder head to the right side exhaust. So essentially, exhaust crosses paths as it leaves the bike. This piece is big and heavy, and I'm not going to be using it anymore. With just a little persuasion, the exhaust is fairly easy to remove from this bike in one piece. And there we go. Got it. Now, I don't plan on reusing any of the Honda exhaust pipes, but I will need to keep that flange at the top. The reason being is because most of the aftermarket exhaust systems that I've looked at don't include a flange. As you can see, the flange is pretty easy to remove. Just remove the gasket with a screwdriver and a little force, and off comes the flange. Just to make sure there's no debris that gets into the engine while my exhaust is coming, I'm going to stuff a little paper towel in there and put the flange back on for good measure. I also like to return any parts that I'm going to save back to where they belong, especially fasteners, so I don't lose them. Alright, first task is done. Got the exhaust off. Well, I think that's just about it for this episode. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week.